Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And if you're ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. And if you're not in our area, you can tune in for the Sunday sermon on our YouTube channel at New Life Christian Center Pastor Pope at 10:45 a.m. when we go live with the Sunday sermon. I'm sharing all of that with you because we had a glorious time on Sunday in service, and for some reason we had a technical failure on one of our Facebook pages, but we were able to upload the video, so feel free to go back and view that video from Sunday at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. And as always, we're here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio. We're from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where you can discuss whatever topics are important to you, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. You can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. That is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery. And you will save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the link provided on Facebook and YouTube, and those of you that are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We thank all of you for your commitment and for your support as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. And we want to stay connected with you throughout the week. So we invite you to tune in on our internet radio station, WKAPFaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, so we can stay connected with our listeners and viewers. The music we play will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you. We all want to become the best version of ourselves that we could possibly become. So stay connected with us, because there's so much going on in our church and our ministry. We want you to be involved. We want you to stay connected. We are going to be having a vaccination site coming up soon, so we'll tell you about that. Stay tuned. There's a lot of great things happening. We want you to be with us, and we want to encourage, empower, and inspire you so that we can become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, but first of all, I've got to say this. This was in response to one of our listeners and viewers, but there have been several of you that have asked this question, and so recently one of the listeners and viewers sent in a communication and went into some real detail, and several of you have indicated that you would like to hear me respond to more pop culture issues. However, I want to say this to all of you. We're not here to be controversial. I realize people like controversy, but we're not here to be controversial. We are here for the person, not for the pop culture. I hear people, people will say, oh, let's do this for the culture, or let's do that. We're not here for popular culture. We're here to address the issues of life. And the reason is because the Bible talks about the issues of life. From the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So, whether you communicate with us by email, whether you communicate with us by text, all of what we hear from you is coming from your heart. And what we have is a platform that addresses careers, finances, entrepreneurship, marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families, dating and relationships. Now think about it. We've covered a vast majority of topics. The issues of life is what the Bible calls them. And because we're here to address a better quality of life, that's the reason that I don't get tangled up. We're not interested in being entangled in popular culture. Now, will we address, if you have an issue in your career that's related to popular culture topics, will we address that? Yes. But I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to spend time just addressing popular culture issues to be controversial. It's interesting because I will share with you, my wife and I recently had a conversation about disruption. In business, there's a lot of creative disruption going on. And we're not interested in disruption for the sake of disruption, but we're interested in disruption for the sake of progress. So, there's a couple of things that recently I've had conversations with people about. Electric vehicles. EV is being implemented in our society because people want to make some change in, the environment. Let's go all the way back to recycling, for example. A greener society. Well, there's a place for all of that. But is it going to replace the use of gas, oil and gas? No. But it will have a positive impact on our society in some ways. But one of the points that I made in a discussion was electric vehicles still require energy. So electricity is an energy. So we have to realize that for the sake of progress, these things are important. But sometimes things are just talking points for people. And so we create disruption for the sake of disruption. We have talking points to base our disruption on for the sake of disruption because it's new and it's exciting. But if it doesn't result in great progress, then it's not good for our society. It's just talking points in our society. And then you have, for example, you have Mark Cuban has come out with some disruption in the pharmaceutical healthcare industry. Well, that's for the sake of progress. It's not just for the sake of disruption. So you got to look at everything and you've got to analyze everything, and you have to really decide how does it fit into society? How does it fit within societal norms that will then allow us to improve and create progress? So think about this. When the automobile was first manufactured here in America, it was done not to just disrupt the travel by train or, which disrupted travel by stagecoach. I know I'm sounding a bit obsolete, but the reality is that every one of those steps, we traveled by horse and buggy at one time, and then we went to automobile, and now we have electric vehicles, but every one of them has resulted in progress. They were disrupted for the sake of progress. not for the sake of chaos, because disruption for the sake of disruption is just chaos. We want to, and that's what I mean by controversy, creating controversy. I'm not going to sit for 30 minutes or an hour, whatever broadcast I'm doing, and communicate to society just to be controversial, just for clickbait. That's not what we're interested in doing. We're interested in enhancing the quality of life and helping people to make progress. So that's why we deal with everyday issues of life: careers, finances, entrepreneurship, marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families, dating, relationships, because all of those things are part of the society in which we live, and all of those things are going to have an impact on the quality of our lives. That's why we address those issues of life. Now you can discuss any topic with me, and I'm going to pray about it, because that's what I do. We're going to address them on the air in some form as God speaks. And we're going to hopefully create an environment that will enhance the quality of life for every one of us, including all of our listeners and viewers. That's the goal here. But I've got to say to you, and to those of you that have communicated, oh, can we talk about some more popular culture issues? What you're really saying to me is, you want me to address those popular culture issues. You want us to have those conversations in real time because they're controversial. And that's not going to lead to a better quality of life. All that's going to do is create an environment that is either, hostile, or it's going to create an environment that's going to, generate cause and effect. And that's not what we're interested in doing. We're interested in the person, not the pop culture. We're interested in the whole person, making certain that everyone is whole in their body, mind, and spirit, not creating controversy that's going to disrupt the spirits of anyone or everyone. So, I thank you all for any suggestions you might have on issues of life that we can address and share with all of our listeners and viewers. However, just be mindful that I'm not going to focus on creating controversy just for the sake of controversy. Everything we do is for the benefit of progress, for it in building a great quality of life. That's who we are. That's what we do. And we're here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers, but this segment of the broadcast has been brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line. We will place you into our queue. The T-Mobile call or text line can be reached at 267-992-1424. This will give you the opportunity to become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill. If you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you tend to be a perfectionist and you find it difficult to achieve the perfection you seek. And you've been told often that you are a perfectionist. So let me first of all say this. You're going to wear yourself out trying to be perfect. And the reason that I know that is because none of us are perfect. What we are being is perfected. What we should be seeking is not perfection, but excellence. We have to take on an excellent spirit. We have to seek excellence, not perfection. And often we set an unrealistic perspective of perfection based on what others perceive to be perfect. So let me break this down. You cannot spend your time focusing on what other people perceive to be perfect, because none of us are perfect. But an excellent spirit means that you're going to every day seek to perform at the highest level every task that God has assigned in your life. The difference is that we're not always looking at the task that God assigns us. We're looking at the task that man assigns us. And we believe that they're assigned by man because man is governing the task, deciding whether or not you're exceeding expectations, meeting expectations, or unfulfilling expectations. So we get in this place where we live our lives focused on what others perceive to be perfect. But an excellent spirit is just that. It is an excellent spirit. It is a spirit that seeks excellence every day, that wakes up every day with one thing on our mind, and that is to perform at the highest level the task that God has assigned us. Whether it's our career, whether it's our stewardship over our finances, whether it's our business, whether it's our family, whether it's our whatever it may be, we are seeking to be excellent in that area. And most people don't seek excellence. Few people are, there are personalities that seek perfection because they've come to believe that there's some way to be perfect. No, we're all being perfected every day. So what you want to seek is excellence. And let me tell you what that looks like. Excellence implies every day. It implies examining ourselves to determine if each day we performed at the highest level, that we were capable of performing. So think about it. Every day may not be a perfect day, but it can be perfected. So let's say you wake up in the morning and you aren't feeling 100%. It's not a perfect day. Physically, you're not feeling 100%. But it doesn't mean that you can't perform at the highest level possible. So it means that you have to allocate and expend the energy necessary to accomplish everything that you can possibly accomplish during the course of that day. And this is going to take me into another communication, but I have to say an excellent spirit means that you examine yourselves. We have to examine ourselves every day. And then we have to be committed to excel. We have to be committed to perform at the highest level. Then we have to look for opportunities to maximize our potential. We have to live with whatever occurs during the course of the day that we don't have control over, and evaluate how we can overcome what occurs during the course of the day. never giving up on the opportunity to perform at the high level, and trust God for the rest. So there's a whole component to being excellent, to performing at the highest level. And a lot of that begins with the mind, because as a man thinketh, as a man believes, so is he. But you've got to take on that spirit, not opposed to a perfectionist, a spirit of perfectionist. Because you're not going to achieve perfection. However, you can achieve excellence. And that's what's powerful about an excellent spirit. You can achieve excellence by working to perform at the highest level. Stop complaining about what you don't like and perform at the highest level. And at the end of the day, once you've done that, you trust God for everything else. Now you might say, well, that Pastor, that sounds like you're only trusting God at the end of the day, but it's God who's taking us through the day. All of those things I just described to you, every day making the conscious decision to perform at the highest level, examining ourselves every day. Am I doing what's necessary to perform at a high level, and being committed to excel? Looking at the opportunity to perform at the highest level, living with whatever might occur during the course of the day, evaluating what you could have done to overcome what occurred during the course of the day. Never give up. Never say to yourself, I don't like what I'm doing, when you know God has assigned it. And the reason God has assigned it is because you're in it. And trusting God that he will move you from faith to faith to the level that he has appointed for your life. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. So if you are in the market for a high-performance automobile, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. You will have the opportunity to virtually build out the Porsche you desire to own. And if you are in our area, you can simply go to PorscheDelaware.com, ask to speak to Mike Didio, who's the general manager, PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone assist you in selecting the Porsche you desire to own. And if you are in our area and you currently own a Porsche, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who's the service manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone schedule an appointment for you. They will pick up your vehicle at your home or office, provide you with a loaner vehicle, and return your vehicle to you when your service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have interest in a coworker who is about to leave the company and relocate to another state. However, you want him to know that you have interest in him, though you're not certain a long-distance relationship is what you desire. So first things first. A real simple way to let him know, but you can simply suggest that you gather a group of you together, go out to dinner, and talk about his new position, his relocation, what that's going to look like for him. And while you are all out to dinner together, you and him and a few of your colleagues, you'll then have the opportunity to express your interest. Having said that, you also need to decide if a long distance relationship is what you're willing to accommodate. He's moving to another state. He's not moving to another planet. Okay, so let's keep everything into perspective. And the fact of the matter is, where he's relocating is only a state away from you. So you got to keep everything in the proper perspective. And if he's interested, he'll make it work, because that's what a man does. He'll make it work. He'll go back and forth to spend time with you, and you two will then have the opportunity to determine what you can build moving forward. You don't have to put pressure on yourself whether or not a long distance relationship will work. A real man will find a way to make it work. He'll know what he wants to accomplish, and he'll work to accomplish that. He'll devise a plan so that the two of you can spend the time together that you would like to spend together to determine where the relationship's going to go. You say you in your communication, you feel like he's someone that you're compatible with, you feel like it's someone, you're obviously interested. You don't have to figure everything out. You can allow him to figure it out, because he's the man. And I know some of you may not like that, because society has taught us, there's a lot of variables. You can, the man doesn't have to figure everything out. He doesn't have, no, but he's the man. And God placed the man at the head. I know everyone doesn't subscribe to that, but that's the reality. We're out of order. That's the problem in our society today. So let him figure it out. Let him determine how he's going to devise a plan that will allow the two of you to develop a relationship if that's what he's interested in doing. He'll figure it out, and he'll make it work. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at their retail stores. They have everything that a man could possibly need. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. I'm in Charles Tyrwhitt attire today, so this is what it looks like. If you are interested in Charles Tyrwhitt attire, go to ctshirts.com. And right now, if you order 3 high-quality cotton shirts from Charles Tyrwhitt for $99 at ctshirts.com. And the White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on 5th Avenue in New York. So if you're in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything that you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you've been struggling with trying to maximize your success. You said, however, there are days that you are not even certain what that looks like in the future. Well, let me tell you what that looks like. Becoming the best version of yourself. So I'll probably spend a little more time on this again tomorrow, because I've seen this from a couple of listeners and viewers. You've all heard me talk about not just becoming successful, but maximizing our success and then experiencing the fullness of God in our lives. And so maybe tomorrow I'll spend a little more time on it, but here's the reality also. What that looks like in the future is becoming the best version of yourself. Becoming the best version of yourself in your career, becoming the best version of yourself in your family, becoming your best version of yourself in your relationships, your external relationships. But being the best you is how you maximize your success. So let's look at how that occurs. Being the best version of yourself in your career. So every day, you heard me talk about working to perform at the highest level, peak performance. And in your family, building a great quality of life. So I'm going to explore this a little more with all of you, but it is really about becoming the best version of ourselves. And I'm going to spend a little time on that tomorrow, being the best version of ourselves, because we really are at a place now where in order for us to really not just survive in this society, but thrive in this society, we really have to become the best version of ourselves that we can possibly become. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I want everyone